Family, this is Apostle Simon Mokoena. I welcome you in the presence of the Lord. I'm coming live to you. I'm in Gauteng. Gauteng, it's one of the 9 provinces in our country. It's beautiful out here. Yes, we are still under the cloud of the coronavirus. But you know what? He's got the whole world in his hands. He's in control of our lives. Chill out, relax. God is in control of your life. You're gonna make it. I mean, there is life beyond COVID-19. We're gonna make it. It's just that this is a new normal and we are all adapting to it. And we are going to adapt to it because if God is on our side, who can stand against us? I love you. Thank you, family, for coming in. I welcome you in the presence of the Lord. Thank you also for allowing me in your space. Please remember to share the broadcast. Like the page of the Apostle. If you are new on the platform, identify yourself. Let me know that you are watching. And please share the testimonies with us. If God is doing great things in your life on this platform, let's magnify the name of the Lord together. Let's work together. Please share your testimonies and please invite your friends. Tell them about the goodness of the Lord, what God is doing in people's lives on this platform. This is a beautiful platform. I love it with all my heart. The social media platform. This is my era. This is your era. Yes, we are about to tap into a new era. An era which I believe it's gonna unite us as humanity. We are going to be united on this platform. Can you believe it? It doesn't matter where do you go to church. I mean, where do you associate spiritually with a certain family or denomination? On this platform, we are one. You can have access to my messages. I can have access to your messages because on social media platform, it's all about connectivity, accessibility. God bless you. God bless you. As always, good news for you. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I'm going to let one of my guests, my spiritual proteges, to share with you what is in her heart. Hello.
Hello, Apostle. Hello, prayer partners.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Apostle.
Tell us, where are you in the world? We are all overshadowed by this dark and heavy cloud of COVID-19. Where exactly in the world are you?
Well, I am in Midrand, Gauteng, in the comfort of my own home.
And how are you taking the strain of COVID-19? Social distancing?
It hasn't been easy. It's actually been very tough.
I believe you have something very special for us, Nonku, isn't it?
Yes, I do. I've got a special message to share with everyone.
Go ahead, share it with us.
Thank you so much, Apostle, for allowing me into this space and allowing me to share this wonderful message that I have with everyone. So the message that I have to share is a message about faith, especially during this time. Hopefully, many of you are aware of my testimony that I shared not too long ago. But for those of you that don't, I would just like to touch on that quickly. I was diagnosed with a cancerous cell that was growing in my lungs. Shortly after that, I developed multi-drug resistant TB. Shortly after that, they found that I had rheumatoid arthritis.
According to cancercenter.com, cancer is the uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells in the body. Cancer develops when the body's normal control mechanism stops working. Old cells do not die and instead grow out of control, forming new abnormal cells. These extra cells may form a mass of tissue called a tumor. Therefore, cancer cells are cells that divide relentlessly, forming solid tumors or flooding the blood with abnormal cells. Cell division is a normal process used by the body for growth and repair. MDR-TB which is multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, is a form of tuberculosis infection caused by bacteria that are resistant to treatment with at least 2 of the most powerful first-line anti-TB medications. MDR-TB is caused by TB bacteria that is resistant to at least the 2 most potent TB drugs. These drugs are used to treat all persons with TB disease. According to MayoClinic.org, rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic inflammatory disorder that can affect more than just your joints. The condition can damage a wide variety of body systems, and that includes the skin, eyes, lungs, heart, and blood vessels. It is an autoimmune condition, which means it is caused by the immune system attacking healthy body tissue. It is not yet known what triggers this. However, your immune system normally makes antibodies that attack bacteria and viruses, helping to fight off infection. Rheumatoid arthritis, it causes inflammation of the lining of the joints, especially in the hands and fingers. Because it is a progressive disease, symptoms typically get worse, and if it is left untreated, it can cause severe damage to the joints and serious complications in the major organs.
So it was tough for me. I was in hospital. I was hospitalized for a period of 2 years. And you could say that my life was on lockdown for that period. You know, social distancing and masks and sanitizers and disinfectants were part of my life. That was my norm back then. Now back to my message. There are times when we have to follow God with a degree of uncertainty because we don't understand what the Lord is doing. And I believe that's called walking by faith and not by sight. There's always going to be something that will test your faith. And I believe that's the test. That's what's happening now. Through those teachings and the one-on-ones that I had with the apostle, I came to realize, and I came to a realization that I wasn't in a dark place, nor was I buried the way I thought I was. But the apostle made me realize that I was an actual seed. I was a seed planted by God. Now, you have to remember that a seed can only germinate, or a seed can only grow in a dark place. A seed needs to be planted deep down in the ground in order for it to grow. Now, obviously, once I had been planted is when God then sent through the apostle, who then represented the water, the sunlight, the fertilizer that a seed needs to grow. And all of those things were the teachings of the apostle. And then that's when I think that in that time, that was the renewal of my faith, because I had lost all hope in hospital. My faith was wavering. I had wavering faith. I had thrown in the towel. But like a seed, with the sunlight and the fertilizer and the water, I started to grow. And my faith was restored and renewed. And here I am. So I wasn't in that dark place that I thought I was in. And right now I feel like everyone feels like they are in a dark place, especially during these uncertain times. We are in a time where I feel like we're consumed by fear right now. You know, our problems are way louder than our praise. But I feel as though people need to remember and keep the promises of God. In James chapter 1 verse 12, it reads, "Blessed is the person who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life God has promised to those who love him." Isn't that amazing? We have to ask God for the faith to endure. This is the time to bring our focus on our faith. we need to bring our focus on our faith, because whatever you focus on, whatever you put all your focus on, has a lot of power in our lives. We need to therefore shift our focus from the crippling fear that we have to the faith. And all you need is faith as small as a mustard seed. Now, if you know a mustard seed, you'll know that it is one of the smallest seeds. We need to trust God. God knows what He's doing. You might not trust your friends, and I know it's hard to trust, but trust God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I believe that beneath all our physical problems, everything that we're currently going through, there are spiritual solutions. For we are spiritual beings. We must just trust God. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, So we must hope for the best, and by faith believe that it will come. We don't have to face the storms of life alone. We have to walk by faith. Just like Peter, we have to keep looking and keep our focus on the Lord. Because if we lose our focus, we'll sink. In Matthew 14, verse 28 to 33, it reads, "And Peter answered him, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water, he said. Come. So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took a hold of him, saying to him, O you of little faith, why did you doubt? And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, Truly you are the Son of God. Now, just like Peter, we have to keep our focus on the Lord. We always have to keep our focus on the Lord, even during the midst of the storm. You know, Peter was fine. Peter was fine when he was walking. He had faith to come out of the boat, and he had faith that he would walk on the water with Jesus. But as soon as the wind started blowing, you know, when he saw all the waves and the storm, he took his focus off God and he started to doubt. And that's when he started to sink. Fear will sink us, but faith will pull us through. We need to remember that. You know, faith is it's exactly like a muscle. It's like a muscle in our bodies. And like a muscle, we need to exercise. We need to exercise it in order for it to grow. You know, I know for most of the people around there, most of you out there would prefer to be at church, you know, right now. You'd prefer to be at church gatherings, praying during this time. But unfortunately we can't, you know, you can't because of the COVID-19. But we also have to remember, Jesus said, upon this rock will I build a church. Now, Jesus wasn't talking about a building. Jesus wasn't talking about an actual rock. He was talking about us. We, you and I, are the rocks upon which the church is built. Now, in our spiritual walk, we need to draw strength from one another. And luckily for us, we live in a time where technology has evolved, and now we are able to establish a level of community through social media. You know, self-isolation and self-distancing doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be spiritually disconnected. Just because we aren't physically connected, it doesn't mean that we are spiritually disconnected. Social distancing doesn't mean social disengagement. We'll get through this. And how will we get through this? By faith.
Well, thank you, Nonku. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you so much. We are all blessed. Well, family, we have come to the end of our show. Please continue to share the broadcast. I love you with the love of the Lord. I stretch my hands towards you. I'm praying for you, and I'm believing God with you for great things. God bless you. Shalom. Peace.
Do you know the importance of praying in the middle of the night? Do you know how much power lies in midnight prayer? Before you can utter a word to anyone, start your day by connecting with your Creator. Meditate right in the middle of the night. Jesus, the Son of God, went to a solitary place and prayed in the middle of the night. Paul and Silas prayed and praised God in the middle of the night. Let's pray and meditate together with Apostle Simon Mokoena at 12:45 a.m. and be blessed. There's power in midnight prayer.
Oh, yeah.